I think you guys are. What do you guys need from us?
I'll ask. I'll go first.
Yes.
I'll volunteer. Okay. So, hi, my name is Amber. I'm from Variety Radio Online. I have a very high standard for series finales. Thank you, 6 Feet Under.
Okay.
And
thank you, 6
I
Feet
thought
Under.
you guys did it perfect.
Oh.
It's right up there with it. Actually, a show ended the other day, and I was like, oh, True Blood, when True Blood ended, right? And I was like, Being Human and 6 Feet Under really set the par as far as series finales go.
Thank
What
you.
happened in True Blood?
Wow.
Why is everyone saying?
Yeah, you're the second person today.
He was one of
Oh no.
Never mind. Never
It
mind.
was one of those,
He became a lumberjack.
they rushed it. They rushed it, the ending, and so it was just like, oh, let's make everybody happy, like really instantly.
Huh.
When the whole season kind of wasn't like that, but anyways. So I just wanted to know how much the 4 of you were involved in the series finale itself.
Well, we were in it.
As far as the story goes.
We were there.
For all 4 years, we were all in it.
No, but in all honesty, I feel like we had a big say with the kids.
Yeah.
Like specifically.
Well, I remember, like honestly, it was even from like season 2 we got married. 2 we got married.
End of no 3.
0? Are you
So
saying
the
0?
cat was at your
3.
wedding.
You're saying
Three.
0.
Three.
You were
No,
already
I
married.
promise it was 3.
No, we entered
No.
into season 3.
Cat was at your
It
wedding.
was season 3.
God.
Cat was in season 3.
Yeah,
You
you
guys
married
remember?
in season
It was
3.
We did. It was season 3, episode like 8.
Yep.
No, you proposed in 8.
Oh, for
And
fuck.
then 9.
Julia was season 2.
Cat was there, bro.
It was 3.
Because I banged her
We're
afterwards.
there. We're
You
right.
did.
We're
Because
there.
I hit
I
it.
watched.
And she watched it.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
right.
It was 3.
Yeah.
It was 3.
So you're welcome.
Oh, so that answered your question. I nurse. No, but I think whatever. Whenever it was, I always wanted, just speaking personally, Josh and Nora to have the kind of ride off into the sunset ending. I thought that's what they really wanted, and so that's what they deserve. I always wanted, once again personally, and I think I speak for most of us, if not all of us, when I say that I always wanted what. This is
Never.
terrifying.
I would never.
I already did.
What the character really wanted, you know, and his was to, I think, move on and have an afterlife, which is
have some sort of redemption. for
some
all the
sort of
awful
redemption,
stuff that he's
and her to just, you know, finally find a man. I mean, that's your whole story, right? I'm not like condensing.
Yeah,
or
just
anything.
like looking for
I'm
a
not
man.
oversimplifying that, am
Oh,
I?
I need a man.
That came out kind of misogynistic, didn't it? No, but I don't know. I think they listened to us, right?
Well,
It's like he's a vampire, he's a werewolf, she's a werewolf. I just want a man.
Yeah,
She wants
a
a man.
guy.
She,
Needs a guy.
That's your obsession.
a vampire, 2 werewolves, and a strong single mother of 3. So the thing was is that
It's a show.
the characters have been beaten up.
Beaten up.
They've been beat up for like 4 seasons, and every opportunity the writers had to make these people suffer, they took them. And I think we were all on the same page that they deserved a happy ending after all that suffering. And I remember saying to Anna, I'm like, I have this weird thought of one door with Sally and Aiden in front of it, and she goes, okay, we don't know what that means yet either, but we've had exactly the same thought since early on. So yeah,
you decided.
Yeah.
so it was me.
So, thank you.
But in terms of the happy ending, these 2 were basically the ones that had the best shot at it. Sally and Aiden were more in trouble.
Right.
So
No.
How did that whole process work? If you're doing the season and then you get the word that you're not getting another season?
we got it before the season.
Okay.
Well,
It
but it wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we keep, I mean, maybe it was for some of you, but personally, I
No.
didn't know that it
The
was
way
100%.
I didn't know until you
Anna
guys-
pitched the last season to us before we started shooting was that we are writing to an end. That's what we knew. We
Yep.
were closing it up.
Yep.
But we didn't get the official word until a couple days before it was
And we
released
also
to the
didn't
press.
know if we were going to film an alternative ending as a just in case.
I always thought that
Like,
that would
I
have been a
didn't-
good
See, what's-
option.
The funny thing is that I remember talking to people before we even shot the season, and they were like, look, we're thinking about, because there's a whole thing that we really can't share, but they were going to like renew for
2
do we
seasons.
say they
Either
were
way,
due for 2.
but
They were gonna,
possibly we're going to shoot 26.
it wasn't, yeah, but it wasn't a possibility. This was set in stone for a second.
Right.
And we were going to do seasons 4 and 5 and shoot it back to back, and then close it out after
Yeah.
season 5. And some weird stuff happened behind the scenes, but that was what Sci-Fi wanted to do. They wanted to do 2 of them. And some weird stuff happened behind the scenes that wasn't Sci-Fi's fault, and then they had to jump in and jimmy some stuff. And the way they jimmied it, basically our budget went down. When our budget went down, basically Anna and the producers and everyone got together, and I remember being at least asked about this, and everyone felt that, like, look, we'd rather make a good show than a bad show. And if we tried for a season 5, we could lose some big key players on our set, big, crew members who wouldn't want to. There were people that made a few sacrifices to do season 4, and we would lose some of those people, and we didn't have the confidence that we could make a good season 5. But a season 4, we had a lot of confidence in. So Anna and them said, listen, we'd like to write to an end. Sci-Fi said yes, but then they wouldn't commit to it. I remember hearing from Anna, like, well, look, it's our intention to end the show. We can't control what Sci-Fi does.
Right.
And then Sci-Fi thankfully backed us up. I know that they were hedging their bets because our ratings were really good in season 4.
Right.
Which I guess they're responsible to do. That's
Yeah, I mean,
their job.
that's kind of what I think.
That's their job.
Well, no, not only that, but like that's what I was always. The hope was, listen, we have this really great little tidy ending where everyone gets what they want, and it really it ends.
Yeah.
So to come back from it would have been kind of catastrophic.
Very weird.
And weird and forced.
Exactly.
But like the official word, because even like people were telling me like into when we were airing, well, you never know, like they could always bring it back, they can always do, there's a lot, it's a supernatural show.
There's also a regime change that happened around the time that happened. So there is some
That's
thought.
a really good point.
Well, yeah. We were a child of the old regime. The new regime was coming in, and we were already queued up to end because
Right.
we'd written and
Right.
shot the show ending.
That's right, I forgot.
So
about
that basically, when the new regime happened, I knew for certain.
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, if you want to put your shows on and
Right.
phase out the old shows,
Right.
our show is asking for it.
Totally, yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff like that going on. I think if the old regime had stayed around, because there was, interestingly enough, Dingus came up with a pitch for what
Right.
season 5 could be,
Right.
and it had to do with a sort of a reboot of our show, because we didn't have any interest in bringing back these characters as these characters. Be like, oh, just kidding. I got redemption and went to heaven. Just kidding.
Right.
You know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad you're
What
saying
was the
because like
plan? I don't
leaving.
know what his reboot was. If
I-
we're at liberty to say.
I didn't hear too many of the specifics other than the fact that like everyone would be a version of their character, but it would be
Right.
different.
I
It would
love
be
that.
totally different.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's the only. I mean, that's
It's
the
not
only
too
way.
late.
That's the only way you could
Not
do
too
it.
late.
It's not too late.
And
In fact,
there was some thought that reboot might also build off of Sally's whole storyline where she went to an alternate.
Right.
Yeah, if you remember in that episode, when Donna's about to send her back to the present, there were all these different versions
This
of
is
Sally
awesome.
all
This is cool.
existing at the
Oh
same
yeah, I
time.
love that.
And the one that if you watch it carefully,
Watch the show
the
carefully.
one that we chose to go back to the present with isn't the same one that went to the future. So the idea, that went to the alternate reality originally. So the idea, if we did have to reboot the show, is that we would
Sally.
follow one of the multiple
That's cool.
Sallys.
Yeah,
which
the
is
original,
really
the
cool.
one, it was interesting that you guys did that. Basically, at that point, if Sci-Fi decided to pull the trigger, we had to do something just in case. So yeah, they actually picked the wrong Sally to go back.
So funny.
that was Stefan, I think.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Steve-O.
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 Yeah.
Steven.
Steven. Yeah.
Shit, have I been
Stephanie.
calling him Stefan this whole time?
Yeah, you're super pretentious.
Oh god, I'm just really like Michelle.
Us,
It's Michael.
It's Jim. I
Just
don't
Michael.
know what
Yeah,
that
exactly. Yeah. My name is James. Yeah. Anyway,
Can you guys? Oh,
sorry. Just.
I just kind of wanted to piggyback off you said, off of what you were talking about. The BBC had a whole cast change,
Yeah.
and then had this sort of open-ended kind
Sure.
of finale. I don't know if that informed any of the.
No.
Not
No.
at all.
So at that point, you guys had diverged so far, and you were like,
Completely
Yeah.
and entirely.
Yeah.
Past a certain point, both shows ignored each other. I know that
After season 1.
after season
yeah,
one,
the
yep,
storyline's completely diverged.
Yep.
After
And they didn't
season
even
one,
want. They avoided it. They
our
avoided
writers
watching the
avoided the British show, and the British writers avoided our show. I heard
show. Yeah.
from Toby Whithouse after the fact. He said, now that my show's been done, I've been watching the rest of your show, and he said that he felt we did it right, which I was so thankful to hear from him. But yeah, they did the same thing. We just, because you would just unconsciously try to duplicate, we try to keep it very separate. Although, for actors, we could watch it if we wanted. After, after the first season, we felt like our characters were established, so we felt free to
The
enjoy it.
irony is that there was some overlap.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, when we were shooting Ep 7 Season 1, which is when Josh goes back to, and the only reason I remember this is because this is a significant episode for Josh.
That was a great episode.
I love that episode. So he goes back to his
parents'
family's
house.
house.
Yeah.
You meet his parents. And at that time, the BBC show was airing an episode where George goes back to visit his family. And
Which-
everyone was like, whoa, this is bizarre, but it was just
But they shot
literally a
that
coincidence.
after us.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They aired it before us, but we shot it after us.
But I thought we were shooting it when that one was airing.
Well, let me think about this. Rob
No.
Percy from the British show was on set for a few
Right,
days
that's right.
during that episode.
Was it during that episode?
So I think he was a spy. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
you're right.
because it's the
Great.
one
Only
crossover.
never
we had a-
came back after
and
that.
he never came back.
Never came back.
And they found that dead guy on the set.
All right.
Remember they found
With
that
a
dead
broken
guy
neck.
in Josh's
Broken
bedroom?
neck.
Remember they
And we thought it was natural
we just
causes.
thought he just died.
Might have been a British
But
spy.
maybe it was a British spy.
Could have
MI5.
been
Could have been MI6, 5.
MI6, MI5.
Could have been any of the MIs.
Good. Mission Impossible.
Pick your
3.
MI.
Mission Impossible.
Would have been one of them.
One of those. I didn't
Would've been
see.
Mission Impossible
I only
3.
saw the first one. I didn't see the second or the third
Dude,
or
I
Ghost
saw-
Protocol.
It was
They get
Tom
better.
Cruise.
Yeah, was it?
2.
I think it's
not so good.
different.
2, I
Get
didn't
to
like
three.
2. 3 was awesome.
3 was really good.
And then Ghost Protocol was a great one too.
That was
And,
really
and
good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Ghostbusters is a great film.
And Ghostbusters. Hey, opinion real quick. Ghostbusters, appropriate for a 5-year-old?
Yes.
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not
It's
too
not that
scary?
bad.
No.
You think we're in good
I
shape?
watched
No, he's
that.
Because he's begging.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's begging.
Totally.
He is
Guys,
related
watch this.
to you.
But I'll tell you what.
Oh, son of a bitch!
I
Here.
would've got it.
Sammy?
My
Sammy?
turn, my turn, my turn, my turn.
Kristen?
My turn. Obviously.
Ball that up.
All right, place your bets. Place your bets. Here, I'll ball it up. I'll ball it
No,
up.
no. Let her ball up her own nerds,
Ball it
bro.
and shoot it.
Fine. Try it.
Technically, she's a little closer though, so I
Thank
think
you very
fine.
much.
Let's switch seats.
Ooh.
The gauntlet has been
Game
thrown.
fucking on.
That's
Men versus women.
Women are always gonna win.
You got
See.
this. You got this.
Oh!
You were
Bang
going for the
shot.
back.
Shot.
I saw
Bang
what you were
shot.
going for.
Clever, but
That was
Oh, you missed even.
Okay, so
You're
what
right
were
there.
we were talking about Ghostbusters now? What's up?
no, nothing. Sorry, that was a non sequitur.
Ghostbusters good for a 5-year-old. Ghostbusters
Yes.
2.
Yeah.
2, not so
was
much.
a little
Not
scary.
good for any.
2
Okay,
was
yeah,
good
yeah,
for
yeah.
anyone but Bobby Brown, really.
But you don't think Zool is a little scary for a 5-year-old?
No, Zool's sexy as
I
hell.
remember.
for a
No,
five-year-old.
you think so? You think so?
I watched it.
Fine.
At
I
five.
Did you? I feel like I watched it at 5 too.
I definitely did.
I feel like I did.
I showed my
grandson.
Is all of
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, dude. you-
Parents were not paying attention.
So did
Yeah,
I.
no.
So did I.
That's
Did you have a question?
And
What is it? The Lost Boys as well.
I was gonna ask about what you guys have
Okay,
coming up.
sorry.
If you can talk a little bit about where fans can see you.
Sure.
Hey, sure. Start this in.
Working on a video game called Tales from the Borderlands, from the Borderlands franchise. There's a TV thing that may or may not happen, and there's voiceover stuff that I talk about. So there's that.
That's super fun.
Yeah, I got to tell you about some things.
I'm very excited to hear about some things.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to hear about things.
This guy develops things.
Yes, I'm developing a show for Sci-Fi right now, which I'm really psyched about. That's finally gaining some speed. And we'll see what happens with that. I have no idea. I don't know when it would go into production. I don't know what the deal would be. But it's at the very, kind of, it's fledgling and brand new, and so, but it's very cool.
Fledgling.
It's fledgling.
Fledgling.
Don't you love that word?
Ew.
It's like a nice word. And then there's some TV stuff that may or may not happen because that's just the way it works. So, but you'll know as soon as I know anything. I'll get on the old beep 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 boop tweet.
He's got.
And I'll let the world know.
I really want to
With all
follow.
140
I know.
characters.
The calculator.
You know what this is? This is like the '80s version. If they heard about cell phones, they'd be like, oh, well, we know how that is.
It's gonna be like crank.
Yeah.
Click.
Tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tweet.
I'm doing the new season of Banshee on Cinemax and a show called Kingdom for for DirecTV about MMA fighters. It's really, really cool. And now I'm doing Secrets and Lies for ABC with Juliette Lewis and Ryan Phillippe.
She's really sad because she hasn't gotten anything. She hasn't. It's like she's really struggling right now.
And I have a couple of films that'll be coming out. I don't know when, because they're both independent, small films. One is called Trigger. I think it'll be out in the fall, though, in the U.S. And then the other one won't come out until next year. It's called In Embryo. It's a European film. And then I also shot another film earlier this year called Life. It's a small role, but it's about James Dean. It's like a biopic about a photographer that shot him for Life magazine. And has Dane.
It's a little
Mahan
actor.
and Robert Pattinson.
Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is the place.
Yeah, no, but it's small but very fun role. And, it'll be out in 2015 as well. And then also, same thing, TV things, waiting to hear on what my next job is.
So down.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, real quick. And then Maggie and I made a movie together.
Yes!
And it comes out in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun.
I know.
I can't believe that.
I know.
It's really good too.
They
It's
actually
really good.
bang each other.
We do.
They do.
Like several
They do.
times. No,
Oh,
just
that's
the
nice.
once.
Just the once.
Just the once.
It's
It's a
enough.
significant enough
But
Yeah,
bang.
it's for a long time.
They really did it. They
Yeah.
actually did it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Well, I
go
figured
big or
we'd
go
just go
home.
for it.
man.
Method is hell.
Or go big and go home. Do it
Go
both.
big and then
Just
straight
go home.
and
Like,
apologize
I
to your
went
wife.
big.
Go big and then go home and apologize to your
I'm
wife.
so sorry. I just went big. Yeah.
She
you have a
knows.
question?
Yeah, for the two guys. Y'all both been in the DC universe because you were Doomsday on Smallville, you were Jimmy Olsen, and you're also Aquaman's brother in the Justice League.
Oh, right.
When is that out? Sometime this fall? I don't know.
You're Aquaman's brother?
I'm Aquaman's brother.
Okay.
Played.
With
First of all, it's Aquaman. Second of all, it's his fucking brother. It's not even Aquaman.
it's a pretty cool story.
Hey,
He's the villain. He's the villain.
this is my brother Joe.
Oh my god, it's Aquaman! Yeah, hi! Have you guys met my brother Steve? He plays Steve.
What's Stallone's brother?
Oh god, Ron.
It's Stallone's brothers of Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever the guy's name is.
What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? Frank Stallone.
Frank Stallone.
It's the Frank Stallone of Aquaman. Yeah.
But
Wait a minute!
First of all, it's Aquaman. And the second one, it's his brother.
It's his Prince, not even Aquaman?
The last name is actually pronounced Aquaman. But, yeah, that's coming up. Matt Lanter is Aquaman, and I'm like the jealous bad guy who wants to, I guess. I think it's really cool that he can talk to dolphins, and I'm jealous of him.
That's amazing.
my
Yeah.
question was, with Brandon Routh coming back to the DC universe,
Yeah.
playing the Atom,
Yeah.
who would you want to come back to play as in the DC universe? if you had a
Wait, what is he
chance?
doing?
He got a huge arc on Arrow.
He's
Huge.
the Atom.
He's the Atom, yeah. Isn't that awesome?
The man who's smaller than other men. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. He's literally an atom.
Go small and
Yeah.
go home.
It's teeny.
Go small and go home.
Exactly.
Go small and you better go home.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh,
And you'll be sent home.
Go away.
There you go.
yeah,
Oh, go home.
I just went on a date with the Atom.
Yeah,
Didn't even know it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ew.
What's going on?
I was curious if you had a chance to come back to the DC universe, who would you want to play?
Batman.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be cool. If I could be anyone, I don't know. To be honest, I'd love to be I love that Jogo Lebs was going to be Robin. I think that would have been a fucking cool one for me because I can't say Batman or Superman. You know what I mean? I can't.
Sure you can. Yeah, I just said it. Say it.
Batman and Superman.
Okay.
Simultaneous.
I think it would be a good Robin.
Yeah.
Would have been a good Robin. He was an acrobat. That was kind of. That'd be fun.
You guys are very acrobatic.
Spider-Man would have been great, but that's
Spider-Man.
obviously not.
You'd make
Right.
Spider-Man, you would have been a great Spider-Man.
You'd be a good Robin's brother.
Yeah, Robin's brother. He died on the tightrope.
He died. His whole family died. He's a dead guy.
He's a dead guy.
He's a dead guy.
Dead guy.
No, you'd be a great Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Spider Dan.
Who would we be good?
Ooh. Ah, that's a good. Yeah, there you go.
Who would we be like?
Well, we need
I'm a storm.
we know white and ethnic. Is that right?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we do this to her all the time. Chill out, relax.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
No, you'd be a good storm.
I know.
You'd be a great storm. And
I just said that.
You'd be a great poison ivy.
Poison ivy.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's fun. I'd like to be poison.
Yeah. Yeah, you would be. You'd like to fucking. You'd
Would
like
I?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd love that. Yeah, you'd love that.
Amy Frost.
You'd love that.
Emma.
Frost.
Emma
You
Frost.
love it.
Oh, she'd be Emma Frost.
Emma Frost.
Oh,
Carol Danvers,
or
I think you'd be good. Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. All the,
Yeah.
But his question, let's be honest, his question is for the guys. So.
That's a really good point. What are we even talking about?
Can I pause y'all for a minute? I need to steal you two for an interview with DCTV.
These guys?
You two can move together and continue together.
Which
Oh, they're trying to save you guys out.
Oh my God, you guys would make such an
Oh
adorable
my God!
couple.
Finally.
Yeah, get over here.
Play cool.
You guys would make such an
We're
adorable.
Well, sorry, the rest of your interview is gonna be really boring.
Have fun, guys. Are we gonna see you this weekend a lot?
Yeah,
All right,
open
good.
bye.
All right, cool.
Bye, guys.
Hey, bye, Todd. See you later.
Yeah. Killer beer, man. Thanks.
Okay, good. You got it.
And read your mind.
That's right. That's right. All your answers
So,
are right
who do we
here.
have to petition to have your character come back on Grimm over
What's
and
that?
over a lot?
Oh, God.
I squeezed like a little girl. I'm not gonna lie.
How was it? I haven't seen it.
It was fantastic.
I was fresh out
And you
of,
played a werewolf, and so it was very.
What?
and I
And
didn't,
I didn't know about
and
this?
I didn't play it half as well as you. So
Also,
don't
you don't
worry
know
about
that
it.
I did a whole series where I played a vampire.
I do know that, in fact.
So-
I do know that. But I swear to you, I didn't do it as well as you and Sammy do it.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about it the whole time.
I'll be the judge of that.
You're a very judgmental person. That's very true. I was fresh out of being human, so I was really tired and I didn't really know what was going on. Although Dave Jim Tully, the star of Grimm, was a good friend of mine, so we got a chance to hang out and record, and it was really cool.
My wife made fun of me endlessly because you came on. I was like, "Hey, it's on Grimm. It's the best episode ever." And then it's awkward now.
And it was, you know, yeah, it was. They dressed me as a pirate, I believe. Is that right? Or
Yeah,
a
you
circus
were
person?
the
Wait a
circus.
second.
A circus person, pirate, totally interchangeable.
Yeah.
Giveaway shirt.
You're
I
being told
missed
boots, forced to change.
A lot of drinking.
and it was
A lot of
very
drinking.
crazy.
Yeah,
But they did kill you off.
they
So
didn't kill me.
I feel like they left it open. to
That's
bring you
right.
back.
That's right. I don't know if their guest stars can come back a lot, do they?
They do not.
They have not.
Occasionally.
They have, yeah, very rarely
Yeah.
have any of them.
I was. It was nice to get back.
How are they in season 5?
They're
4.
going into
5.
4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they started a year after us.
Okay.
Yeah. So werewolves. I can tell you have a question. A burning one.
I'll do
you,
one
you
for
do,
you.
you
He
take-
he
thank
does
you.
stunt work. You all do a lot of stunt. You get your ass whooped a lot.
He does.
Matter of opinion.
What was the stunt situation like on Being Human?
Well, personally, I had a pretty significant back problem for 6 years of my life, and I actually had to have surgery a year and a half ago, so I would have done a lot of stunts. Could I have? But I had a stunt double for anything that was like really crazy physical.
You still did a few.
Yeah, I
saw
mean,
you
I still did a
did
few, but I had to be careful just because of my back. But,
My situation was
Yeah.
that they discovered that it was a lot cheaper to not hire a
Yeah,
stunt double.
Yeah.
So they, basically, there were times where sometimes those stunts would be sprung on me. Like there was this one thing, and there wasn't even room enough to shoot it correctly, so you couldn't see exactly how hardcore I was going. But they're like, you're supposed to fly across the room and your head hits the wall and you fall to the ground. And I'm like, great. And then it's about 4 a.m. I'm like, all right, it's time to shoot that part. I'm like, great, where's the stunt guy? They're like, stunt guy. I'm like, what are you serious? Like, what, how do we do this? Like, I mean, you do it.
but also like the
Yeah.
2 times they burnt the house, like everyone was dangerously close to flames.
That's right. I got
Actually.
my hair burned and my eyelashes
Yeah.
burned off when Aiden is when he's dying. There was at one point, and I have this on. You know what? I should put this on Facebook. The flames blew over me, and because you're laying there and you're like, okay, so I'm not sure how hot it is, so I'm just gonna lay here. And you're like, all right, this hurts. This really hurts. This really, really hurts. And then you're like, okay, all right. I took the jacket and shielded myself like a pussy. But then when I found that my hair was burned, I felt a little bit tougher. No, I did a lot of stunts. I was told by a few people on set that I was in the top 5 craziest actors they'd seen in terms of stunts. So, I don't know if it's something to be proud of or just like I have a low IQ. No, yeah.
You could say you're the first actor I ever talked to been involved with fire that close. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's crazy.
I'll tell you something about
not what
fire.
you're supposed to do. That's not supposed to be a thing.
They
But
just-
No, but there were a couple like very questionable scenarios, even
Very.
like with Megan's brother.
This is
Jesse,
great.
who gets electrocuted, and that and that's how he dies.
Yeah, want to know how they achieved that? Go for it.
But like there was an
There's like
actual
water,
cable
and they're supposed to.
in water. The director was like, I don't know how he didn't actually die.
In a
Like,
pond.
he said that verbatim.
In the episode, there's water that spills out and pools around him, and then a power saw
That's on.
that's on
Falls
falls
into
and
the
electrocutes him.
Pool of water.
So how did they create that illusion? Well, they just did it.
and hope
And hope that-
that his feet didn't touch the pool of electric
They literally did this.
water.
Didn't the saw itself like shoot out?
Oh yeah, there was like the whole thing. I mean, we weren't there for this, but we heard after the
Yeah.
fact that everyone the next day, no one was really talking about it. Everyone was just like,
I remember when Bishop bursts through the window and he's supposed to, to stake Aiden. So it's late at night and we're standing there and they're like, okay, Sam, so just so you know, all right, you can stand here. And, I'm standing there and there's the window and he's going to come through. And I'm like, okay, is there any concern about glass? Like, oh yeah, it's real glass. So it's really going to shoot out. I'm like, okay, how do I stop that from maybe, I don't know, like blinding me? They're like, close your eyes. And they're literally making it up. I'm like, all right. Well, I'm sure it can't be dangerous. I mean, we still have more to shoot in this season. It can't be dangerous. And I turn around and look at the crew. And they're like 10 feet back.
Yeah.
Here's the window. Crew's over here. And they're all going.
"Mouse."
And they're all armoring up. And they're armoring the cameras up. And I'm just like, what's going on? And then we did it once. And the stunt guy got horribly cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real glass?
Real glass. So he got totally made, like the air ram that was supposed to propel him to the window didn't go up. So basically, I'm like facing away and I turn around in time to not see because I close my eyes. This guy goes stumbling through the glass and hit the
Oh
ground.
god, the air ram didn't go off?
Didn't go off.
Oh.
Next morning, they reset the glass. And I realized, I'm like, wait, this whole eye closing thing is not going to work because this guy, when the air ram fires, and I was looking, because they were talking about the air ram a lot, because it didn't fire. I'm like, how far is it going to propel? I'm like, oh, it's going to go like 15 feet. I'm like, 15. I shouldn't close my eyes. So then, boom, I turn around, we finally do the stunt. The guy goes sailing through the air, and he's like still in midair by the time he gets to me. And had I not had my eyes open, he would have just smashed into me as opposed to I'm like, oh, and I kind of caught him. And we went, and then we both fell back, and then there was a mat way back out of frame that we fell into. So, it was ridiculously dangerous. There was another fight we did on a rooftop, no railing. Me and the guy that played Henry, Kyle Schmidt,
Wow.
are like having a fight scene on gravel, and the edge of the roof is right over here, like this, sheer drop off, no railing, no nothing, and we're fighting here, and it's just like, I don't know.
Are y'all making a TV show or building the Hoover Dam? Like, what was
Yeah.
it? People die, you just keep moving.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing when in life I don't really take that many physical risks. I'm just like I don't want to do that. Do I want to go skydiving? Like nah, not really. But if they put a camera on me and it was for something, I'm like all right, let's do it. Fine. Like the fear switches off for some reason. I think it's because I'm being watched and they want me to be macho.
Right.
I'm in character.
Right.
And my character's tough.
Yeah.
Can't look like a pussy.
Yeah, my character's dumb. You should get a stunt double. Yeah. Any other questions?
Do we have time for that? Yeah. Okay. This kind of isn't really about the show, but you guys are actors, so maybe you can kind of answer this. So the last couple of years, a lot of series have ended. Dexter ended, Being Human ended, True Blood ended. Boardwalk Empire's ending, Breaking Bad, Mad Men. I mean, it just keeps going on. So where do you kind of see the future of television going? Because there's not really a lot of shows coming out.
Oh, no. I think it's like television's never been more exciting. Every day there's new cable networks that are popping up. Like WGN is a new one, like with Manhattan. The, you know.
GM, that's a
Netflix
Yeah.
is doing
Even
And exactly with
Netflix
Netflix
is
and
doing a lot of
Amazon,
good series.
like I think that it's like I'm more excited than ever to do television.
Yeah.
I think that it's like literally there's so many new shows coming out. Like that's all I have to say. Like there's so many ending, but there's so many new ones coming out. And the most exciting stuff for me personally is on the cable networks and on all these
Yes.
new ones that are popping out.
Yeah.
And like especially like the Netflixes of
Amazon.
the world. Yeah.
Netflix.
So no, I think it's great and really exciting, and there's so much going on.
Yeah, those shows
Yeah.
will all be replaced by
Oh
other
yeah,
shows.
great stuff.
Yeah, we're out of shows. No more shows.
No more. TV's done. We've
Yeah.
done literally everything we can do.
Yes, exactly. Just numbers over,
Turn
done.
off the lights, guys.
We're finished.
TV's over.
Yeah.
How did, because y'all were on cable. What was that like? There's a little bit more freedom on cable than network TV.
Definitely.
Shorter schedules and stuff like that.
Our show, we had 7-day schedules as opposed to like 8, but we had 8 or 9 days of stuff to shoot in those 7 days.
But also you don't like in network TV you often will the 13 will then extend to a 22 episode
Yes.
season, so you're working 10 months of the year
Yeah.
on the same show.
Which is not something I would want to do.
No, it's such a time commitment. Like really, then you'd hope that you could do a film in the off season, but chances are that something is going to like perfectly fit into your off
And
time is so
certainly
rare.
No time for a
Yeah,
life.
so that's your
Yeah.
life, and you sign a TV contract and you sign a 7-year deal. You don't obviously know if the show's going to go long, and if it does, it's probably a great show. But still, you have to think like this could be 10 months of the year for 7 years.
One of the big differences is like I've talked to friends who are on network shows, and boy, they do not have the creative freedom that we have.
Right, exactly, because
There's a lot.
Yeah.
They have a bigger budget, and they have a whole bunch of people breathing down their necks. And we were a very low budget show that was, strictly speaking, undermanned on the producer and production side. So the actors were kind of expected to step up in really fun ways, and we got to have a lot of input. It's not to say that the input, like
Made it into the show.
well, sure, yeah. But there were a lot of ad libs. There were a lot of meetings where we discussed something or brought up certain ideas or pushed something, and it really was a collaborative process. And when I tell people, especially
it's-
people on network shows, what it was
Yeah.
like on our show, they're very envious because we got to put a lot of ourselves into the show in a way that actors don't generally.
No, it's so rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, to have such a collaborative process.
And that's also a credit to our writing
Showrunner.
staff
Oh,
and
yeah.
their showrunner
Exactly.
for opening up those doors and saying, yeah, no, we want to have meetings every week and talk about those scripts and really see how you guys feel about them, which was wonderful. It was very cool.
It's time for one more question.
Get a good one.
Go.
Do you find yourself wanting to beg to be in the new Star Wars movies?
I'm working on a blackmail scheme right now. I'll find some way to weasel my way into one of them. And since there's going to be about 75
Right.
films coming out,
Yeah, exactly.
the chances have never been better. I actually knew that they were doing new movies, I want to say, like 10 months before everyone else did.
Wow.
Before the Disney acquisition, all that stuff. I remember
That hadn't
getting
been hard
like
to
the
hold on to
text
that.
message. They're doing another Star Wars. I'm like, what?
I have a question. Tell us a little bit about a 13-year run of Star Wars role-playing game.
Well, that's, you talk about like all this stuff that you're seeing in these new movies and some of the stuff that even JJ has released in terms of images from his on-set stuff is stuff that have been in these old RPG books from back in the 80s. That's kind of cool, that world has been influenced by the game and vice versa. That's if you go all the way back and you read some of those old books, they're still consistent for the most part with what has come out since. I even gave Dave Filoni the Imperial source book from 1988, and I have no illusions that that's why he chose, like in his new show Rebels, they have the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau, which is based off the various Nazi organizations and stuff like that. But the ISB was something that showed up in the game first. and the Inquisitors, is, you know, something that showed up in the game first. And I'm not saying that certainly not. I didn't give him the book and he came up with the idea from that. But that is where that came from. And, you know, so me giving him that book was just saying, here's some more source material from what you're drawing from already,
Right.
which is very cool. So, yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.